He Never Expected Much by Thomas Hardy, published posthumously in the final 1928 collection Winter Words in Various Moods and Meters. It can be assumed that in this retrospective poem, Hardy, at the age of 86 years old, is the poem speaker who reflects on his earthly existence. This poem has 24 verses divided into 3 octaves or 3 8-verse stanzas, with a rhyme scheme of AABCCCB. The 1, 3, and 5 to 7 verses of each stanza are in iambic tetrameter, while verse 2 is in iambic dimeter, and the 4 and 8 verses follow iambic trimeter. Don't forget to share and subscribe. He Never Expected Much starts with the speaker casually saying, "Well, world," like he's about to share something thoughtful or personal. Right away, we can tell he's talking to the world itself, which is kind of poetic since the world obviously can't talk back. This is called an apostrophe in literature, when someone talks to something non-human as if it could understand or respond. He says that life has gone pretty much the way he thought it would. The world, he says, has kept faith with him, meaning it did what he expected. The world didn't really promise much to begin with, so keeping those low expectations wasn't hard. Even as a kid, he never believed life would be all sunshine and roses. He remembers lying in the grass, looking at the sky, already kind of aware that life wouldn't always be fair or kind. He's not bitter, though, just realistic. There's a calm, almost resigned tone in the way he says it all. He doesn't believe in fate or divine justice. He just sees the world as it is, indifferent and not interested in our dreams or struggles. In the second stanza, the speaker looks back at himself as a young boy, lying in a meadow, thinking about life while surrounded by nature. He felt connected to the world back then, like nature itself, the clouds and hills, were talking to him. And what did they say? Basically, everyone, whether they loved life or hated it, ended up dead and buried. It's nature's way of saying, no matter what we feel or believe, we all meet the same end. This part of the poem shifts to how people live their lives. Some go all in, chasing success and fighting fate. Some accept life for what it is and find peace in the moment. Others reject life altogether, hating it until they pass into the oblivion they longed for. But in the end, nature doesn't take sides. It keeps going, indifferent to what people want or fear. In the third stanza, back when the speaker was a child, the world told him not to expect much. Sure, there'd be some good moments, but mostly life would be ordinary, sometimes tough, often unfair. Everything seems to happen by chance, and whatever force controls our fate doesn't really care about us. So, the speaker says he listened. He took that advice seriously and lived accordingly. Because he didn't expect too much, he wasn't constantly disappointed. He worked hard, struggled, and tolerated pain, but since he was emotionally prepared, he handled it better. By keeping his hopes and desires in check, he avoided a lot of heartbreak. Instead of fighting life, he accepted it, and that's what gave him strength. He Never Expected Much is basically about an old man looking back at life and saying, "Well, I didn't expect a lot and life delivered exactly that." He's talking directly to the world like it's a person. What's interesting is that his tone is calm and matter-of-fact, not angry, not bitter, just kind of dry and reflective. He admits that life has been tough, but not surprisingly so. From a young age, he sensed that the world wouldn't be fair, that people get let down more often than they're rewarded. And instead of hoping otherwise, he took that as a kind of early warning. That's what he means when he says he failed not to take the world's advice. It's a quirky, roundabout way of saying he did listen and adjusted his expectations accordingly. The poem is quietly ironic. The speaker isn't celebrating life or mourning it, he's saying, it was what I thought it would be. Unpredictable, random, a bit dull, and mostly indifferent. He never got his hopes up, so he never felt truly disappointed. But here's the subtle twist, that's not the same thing as being happy. He might not be heartbroken, but he also hasn't found joy. His emotional numbness is a kind of shield and maybe a loss in itself. The idea of the world making promises is a bit of a joke, really. The world didn't actually promise anything, it's just that he saw early on that it didn't offer much, and that turned out to be true. He says the world kept faith with him, but that faith was basically a warning. Don't expect fairness, don't expect meaning, and don't expect reward. All you'll get are neutral-tinted haps, a poetic way of saying, things just happen, randomly, without much color or passion. This isn't just a personal confession, it's a commentary on how people deal with life. Some fall in love with it, idealize it, and fight against its unfairness. Others hate it and feel betrayed. But the speaker picks a third path, detachment. He doesn't love life or hate it, he just accepts it as it is. He sees his perspective as the wise one, even if it's a little lonely or dull. There's also this haunting feeling under the surface. Maybe he wishes he had believed more, hoped more, felt more. Maybe he envies people who let themselves get carried away, even if they end up hurt. His realism protected him from pain, sure, but also maybe from the fullness of living. So, in the end, the poem doesn't just say keep your expectations low. It quietly asks, what do we lose when we expect too little from life? Hope you like and subscribe.